Okay, so now we're going to use some user input where the user enters the data that's going to be written to the file. And just as a reminder, the steps that we need to include, make sure that you include the file stream library, declare your output file stream, then open up the output file, the file that you're going to be writing to with the open command. Do some writing over here to the file, and if you have the user input something, okay, you can use the cin over here to store the input into a variable, and then you have to take a separate step over here to write it to the output file. Now, it's not possible to go straight from the cin to the output file. That doesn't work. You have to have a variable as an intermediary over here. And then, of course, the last step over here, the close command. Don't forget to let the user know what's going on. In fact, yeah, we're not telling him much over here. So let's add that over here. Cout. You are going to write 3 names to a file. And we'll do a little end line. And then next one over here, enter the names of 3 friends. Now, this is going to be using the file friends.txt. I have already opened it up over here with the input, with the content John, Peter, and Paul. I'm just going to use the name of some of my cats. So let me run this. So the first one is Midnight, and socks are indoor cat, and Gertrude are garage cat. And if we wait a little bit, you see them showing up over here. In previous semesters this would go much faster. I don't know if it's the compiler or something else. What I would see in previous semesters is that when we got to this point over here, we would basically clean up everything that was in that data file. It would recreate it without any comment, without any content. And then as I was entering the names over here, it would not show anything. This would be empty. And then when we got to the end where we close the output file, then it would be writing the contents of the buffer over here to the file. So it doesn't do it quite as quickly now, but you still see the changes happening, and sometimes you may have to wait just a little bit. Okay, so over here we have some user input that's going to be written to the file, and remember the difference with just using it straight from the program. What's that difference again? And the difference, of course, is that you have to use some variable in between where you first store the input from the keyboard in that variable, and then you can take that content in that variable and write it to the output file.